In this week's Parsha, we find a very interesting sequence of events that seem to repeat itself as the Parsha goes. This week's Parsha talks about the Aseres HaDibros. Hashem gives the Torah to the Yidden. The Yidden now have the book, the mission, and the responsibility to make the world a better place. We know famously the commandment of believing Hashem as a God, and also the commandment of not believing in other gods were said by Hashem himself. After that, being that Hashem's speaking was so strong for the Jews that they basically died twice and got revived twice, they told Moshe, have Hashem tell you the commandments, and Moshe will tell the remaining 8 commandments to the Jews. The question with that is, if Moshe is the faithful leader of the Jews, he's the one who's meant to protect them, why did he suggest that Hashem say the first 2 commandments if he should have known that that wouldn't have worked out? How could Moshe make a decision that he should have known would have made the entire Jewish population die at that spot? Did he know Hashem was going to revive them? Was it worth having Hashem do that and putting the Jews through that twice to the point where the Jews said we've had enough? We also find in this week's Parsha where Moshe's father-in-law, Yisro, comes into the scene. And he sees Moshe being the one judge for all the Jews. It's getting overwhelming, and Yisro comes and says, why don't you establish a court system for the Jews? You shouldn't be the only one saying it. The Jews should have a full hierarchy of judges to go to, and that should work out just fine, which is actually what happened. But again, why didn't Moshe think of that himself? Shouldn't he have known that he was going to get worn out listening to hundreds of thousands of Jews with their little inquiries, with their little questions? We see twice in this week's Parsha where Moshe seemingly doesn't make the right call. So what exactly is going on here? Explains the Rebbe that there was absolutely no mistake made on Moshe Rabbeinu's part. One of the main ideas of being humble is also knowing your strength. Being humble doesn't mean putting yourself down. Being humble means appreciating everything that you have comes from Hashem. And therefore Moshe, who is the quintessential humble leader, knows his powers, knows his strength, knows that when he's with the Jews, nothing can go wrong. The Jews were able to handle the first 2 commandments. Yes, their souls left their body, but they were still able to handle, they were still able to hear and understand because Moshe was with them. Moshe was able to impart the knowledge to them. When it came to Moshe listening to all the people's questions, Moshe knew that when he answers the questions that the people come to ask him, as opposed to another random judge, he'll hear it with the simplicity behind it. He'll hear it with the depth behind it. He'll be able to see into every single Jew's neshama and judge fully, faithfully what is meant for them and meant for their life. And therefore he had no problem letting the Jews speak to Hashem directly because they were next to him. He had no problem about getting a little bit tired by listening to all the Jews ask him questions because he was next to them, he was with them, he was helping them. That's everything he wanted to do. But comes Yisro and points something out that's not really possible for Moshe to see. You see, at that point, Moshe was meant to lead them into Eretz Yisrael. For all you know, there was a chance Mashiach could have come then. So Moshe wasn't thinking about the post-Moshe Rabbeinu era. Yisro was, and so were the people. Yisro comes to Moshe and says, what are they going to do without you if you continue this way? Yes, it's amazing that you care for every single one of them, but at the same time, you have to impart them the skills, the strength to be able to overcome all of your challenges, to be able to overcome all of life's challenges without you. The people said to Moshe, when we're with you, we can hear God directly. But one day we won't be able to. The message that Moshe's father-in-law Yisro taught Moshe at that time was that you have to establish a connection with your people in a way that even after you leave, they're still connected. Even after you leave, they stay connected to the values, to the mission that you lived your entire life. That is not something Moshe could have thought about himself, because in Moshe's mind, we're going till Mashiach. And therefore, there was nothing wrong on Moshe's part. And at the same time, Yisro's suggestion and the people's suggestion were taken into account and implemented properly. The lesson for us is very clear. Our Talmidei Chachamim, our rabbis, our teachers, our rebbes have followed in this path. They have given us the tools for us to succeed even when we can't see them. Even when we think we're in such a world of such darkness. The rabbis, the great scholars, the rebbes who were alive then aren't around now. So how can you expect me to have my Yiddishkeit, to have my Judaism functioning at the same level that they did hundreds of years ago? The answer is very simple. They were all true leaders, just like Moshe Rabbeinu. They set up ideas, they set up programs and systems that even after they pass away, that even after they leave us, they're still here with us because we follow in their ways. We follow in their footsteps. We follow in their ideals. By fully internalizing this concept, by understanding what this means, we will be able to act properly and overcome all the bad in our life, ultimately bringing the coming of Mashiach, where we will be able to see all the tzaddikim once again, speedily in our days. Wishing you a good Shabbos.